What if success isn't just about achievement, but rather more about alignment? Now, not just checking off goals, but making sure the way you're living actually matches who you want to become. Let me ask you this. Where in your life right now do your actions and aspirations feel out of sync? Because when those things line up, when you actually live and actually reflect who you are, what do you want, and who you want to be, that's when the real momentum kicks in. That's when peace hits differently. That's when your purpose gets loud in the world. So today we're talking about living in alignment, not just because it feels good, but because it's the only way to create a life that actually feels like your life. Now, hey guys, I'm Dr. EG3 or Emmanuel. I guess some people know me as Emmanuel. Most people around here call me Dr. EG3. But this is where we talk about growth and clarity, have real conversations about becoming the version of you that you have actually been holding back. And even if that means showing up messy, uncertain, and in transitions, we're going to get you there. So each week we dive into this heart level conversation that challenges how we think, how we show up, and how we become. And today's no different. Today we're going to talk about alignment, the beautiful, the challenging, that powerful space where your values, habits, and vision for yourself finally meet, come together in the same room. Because here's what I believe: success without alignment isn't really success, it just kind of leads to exhaustion. Um, I remember this moment that I will never forget. I remember sitting outside in my truck before I went into work, right outside the pharmacy, just sitting there in my truck, feeling very heavy, very burdened, not like physically tired, but kind of this soul tiredness. I realized I was carrying this weight of all the different masks that I was carrying. I was Emmanuel at work. There was another Emmanuel at home. There was another Emmanuel at church, another Emmanuel at play. And I realized I bought into that old business mantra. You guys know the one where it says you got to keep work at work and home at home. But it trapped me in this idea of having to be different people. And if I could be honest, I was living like I had multiple personalities. And the truth was, I was exhausted just trying to juggle all those different versions of me. And that day, it just caught up to me. Now, as I sat there, tears streaming. Well, hold on. I mean, just that one single thug tear that was coming down my cheek felt it was all it took to just kind of break loose all of the frustration that I was having. And in that quiet moment, I can tell you, I just heard this voice or this impression that was deep down on the inside. Maybe my heart was saying, it's okay to be who you were created to be. And in that moment, I felt myself sit up a little taller. I felt myself kind of almost lightning struck me a little bit. And that's when I made the decision. I would no longer live compartmentalized of who I was. Now, yes, I get it. I'm not naive. I have to be professional and appropriate and dignified and watching my language. But what I learned and decided was I was always going to be Emmanuel, always in every ways. And that shift, that decision to live fully as Emmanuel, which later birthed Dr. EG3, it didn't just transform my career because it exploded after that, right? I saw promotion, I saw gain, I saw success, but it transformed every area of my life. I realized that alignment isn't about just showing up and doing things right or showing up and doing the right things. It was really about being whole while you do all of them, every task, every experience, every interaction. And I wonder how many people right now listening to this, you are just like I was, showing up as pieces of yourself, fragments even, depending on the setting of where you are, who you're with. But when you unify who you are, bring all of those pieces, all of those fragments together like a beautiful mosaic, everything aligns. Not just your goals, but your peace, your purpose, your impact. Now, that day in that car, in that truck, was a turning point for me. But I can tell you, it didn't magically fix anything or really fix everything. I had to intentionally start living in alignment. And that was a day by day, choice by choice, experience by experience. So let's talk about how you can start to do that. Because alignment just isn't a concept, it's actually a practice that you have to engage in. Now, you may be wondering, how do you get in alignment and how do you stay there? But most importantly, without burning out or blowing everything up. But first, this whole concept of alignment makes me think of a chiropractor. I'm not sure if you guys have been to a chiropractor or seen one or on TV or ad or know someone in your family. Shout out to KB Mom. But their job literally is to realign your spine so that everything flows better. Less pressure, more movement, better health. Their job is to get all of the joints in alignment. But here's the kicker. Most misalignments don't feel like the big pop that you see on social media or the loud audible sound that you may hear. Those misalignments, they show up subtly. May feel like tension, a little fatigue, a little irritability, pain somewhere that's radiating that you can't quite explain. But eventually it becomes one that you can definitely point to, right? Now, the same thing is in life. Misalignment doesn't always feel dramatic. Sometimes it's just a low level frustration that never quite goes away. And just like your body, your life gets better when you make that adjustment. Now, step one to getting into alignment is number one, clarify your core values. Like I mentioned, alignment is like the body, everything is connected. If your hand is out of joint or your wrist is out of joint, your whole arm is going to feel it. Same with your values in your life. When your calendar doesn't reflect your values, something's going to ache. Now, here's what I mean. If you say faith is a core value of yours, but you have no time for prayer, meditation, quiet time, reflection, misalignment. If you tell me family matters, but your energy is gone by the time that you get home and you're not reserving any in the tank, or you're not prioritizing date night, or you're not prioritizing connecting with the kids, spending time with your mom or dad, misalignment. If you say purpose is the thing that drives you, but you find yourself shrinking down to make others feel comfortable, or you're hiding your gifts just so that you can feel safe or, not get out of your comfort zone, well, look, you know already, misalignment. You've got to define your values before you can even consider getting in alignment with them. Now, step two, I want you to audit your daily habits. Your life is perfectly designed right now to produce your current results. So if you feel scattered, stuck, and drained, it's probably not your dreams, it's probably your habits. So some examples could include, are you checking emails before you're checking in with God? That's a habit. Do you scroll for 45 minutes before you even stand up and get out of the bed? Ugh, that's a habit. Do you find yourself saying yes when you really know and want to say no? That's a habit too. And here's the thing, your habits are either reinforcing your values or slowly pulling and dragging you out of alignment. So this week, do a habit audit. Ask, what is helping me to become the person that I want to be? And what's keeping me stuck in what I used to do and used to be? Step three, I want you to close the gap between your goals and your actions. Now, this is where it gets real. You can have the most beautifulest vision board out there. You've spent that time at the beginning of the year. You went to the magazines and cut all the pictures out, and you did all the frou-frou on the board and created the construction paper and the other things and the sparkles and the glitters, but you can still be out of alignment. A goal is what you want, alignment is how you live. What do I mean? You say you want to write a book, but you haven't even cracked open that journal for over 3 months. You're telling me you want to be healthy, but you haven't drank a drop of water since last Tuesday. Now, look, I'm not judging as I sit here with my tea and I'm looking at my bottle of water half and not even half full. I'm just reminding you that alignment doesn't demand perfection, it requires you to be honest with yourself. So, small daily actions are really the bridge between the life you have right now and the life that you're dreaming of. And alignment doesn't just bless you, alignment actually blesses everyone that's connected to you. So when you live in alignment, it's not just about your peace, which is wildly important, it's about your impact. When you are in alignment, you teach your kids what is it like to live true. When you live in alignment, you're showing your community what does it mean to walk in purpose because you doing that thing. When you live in alignment, you become the evidence that someone else needs to see that alignment is even possible. And that's legacy work. Your alignment isn't selfish, guys. Your alignment is service to the world, and we need you to get in the game. I want you to ask yourself, where am I out of alignment right now? Is it my health? Is it my time? Is it my relationships? Is it my spiritual life? What is one area where your actions don't match the aspirations that you have for yourself? This week, I want you to take one intentional step to find realignment. Maybe it is a boundary, a conversation. How about this? Maybe it's just to get realigned, just taking 30 minutes with yourself of solitude, you, yourself, your journal, a big blanket, a cup of tea to sit down to revisit what's important to you. What are your values? Whatever it is, guys, I just want you to do it with some intention. Now, if this message hit home today, I'd love you to do one of two things. Or how about this? How about you do both? How about you share this episode with someone that you know, that you've been talking to, that you've been working with, that's been craving real alignment? Ask them to subscribe. And how about this? Second, I want you to subscribe just so that we don't miss anything, miss these conversations. Because I want to know what you guys need and want to hear from me. You don't need to live off mission any another day. We can start with today. And I want you to know alignment is available. And when you start walking in it, everything changes. You were created to live boldly and fully and in alignment to what truly matters to you. So as you go into this week, guys, I want you to ask boldly, seek fearlessly, and unlock the endless possibilities that wait for you on the other side of that alignment that you've been seeking. And as always, guys, love you much.